Muted you.
Crystal,
Yeah,
it's
so-
my honor to present you to your members to make your remarks. Congratulations.
All right, then, thank you. I
And
just
Crystal, before you give your remarks, I'm going to do CEO privilege. And for those of you who may have a glass, could you please raise your glasses to the HDR 2021 President, Crystal Hawkins-Siska. Congratulations.
I made it. I got my glass. I don't drink, but I'm gonna toast you.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Crystal.
Yes.
Congrats, Crystal. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
So now Gary's going to mute everybody, and then Crystal, you have to unmute yourself to talk.
Okay. I know Leah Carroll was busting my chops and says, we've only been doing this for like how long? You don't know how to unmute yourself. So thank you, Leah. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this event. And there's some key people I definitely want to thank so much for me being able to take on this position today. One of them I want to start primarily with is Freddie Vargas, who spoke with the Inspirational. He is the reason I'm actually in real estate. He came to me years ago, and he had already had his license. He was working with Houlihan Lawrence at the time. And he said, I think that you'll be good at this. And at the time I was like, really? Like, I'm gonna be like a glorified chauffeur? I was going by my own experiences with real estate agents. But I'm very, very glad that I actually adhered to his advice, and it's brought me here today. Once I became a real estate agent, I remember taking my classes, and that's when I met the dean of real estate, which is Gary Leogrande. And he definitely made a huge impression on me. But it would be later on when I decided to become an associate broker or get my broker's license that I came across Gary again, as well as Carol Cope. And between the two of them, they really became huge mentors to me. And Carol Cope and John Cope were the first people that actually encouraged me to get involved in the board. Like this is like, I don't know, 17 years ago, 16 years ago to become a part of RPAC. But I decided that I would leave Freddie, who said, nobody's gonna ever treat me as good as I do. And I went to go work actually with Keller Williams, with Gary, and I've been there ever since. And Gary also very much from the start said, listen, you need to be a voice out there. You need to get involved. But at the time, I'm like a lot of realtors. I just wanted to get involved in the business and make money and support myself. But being involved, I got to meet Tony Crystal. And Tony Crystal was another voice there saying, you know what? I think you need to get involved. And I originally got involved with Women's Council. And I got to tell you, I made a couple of mistakes there. You know, I was still a newer agent, and I really wanted to focus on my business, but she saw the leadership potential in me. And she never stopped encouraging me, either directly or passively. And that pretty much has definitely brought me to where I am today. Those were some key people in bringing me where I am in terms of specifically in real estate. And so now I want to actually make a statement. Those of us who are strong must rise and do what is right when those around us are either too weak or do not know how to do so. I'm quoting someone. That person is Frances White Latson. That's my grandma. That's something that she used to state all the time. And she had this very billowy, powerful voice, sing-songy voice in which she used to make that statement. And she made that statement to me, I was probably not even older than 5 years old. Now, it would go on to be reinforced by both my mom and dad, but definitely my mom every day before I went to school. She would say to me, remember who you are. And then she said, girl, you better not embarrass me. So anybody who's been in a room with my mom, you'll know that she's a powerhouse. And from then it set the groundwork. As you looked at the montage in the beginning, most of those pictures are actually, except for a few of them, are actually pictures that have been taken by me and my family. The pictures there was my great-grandfather, my grandparents on both sides, my great-great-grandfather, my parents. And I think I'm representative of truly a New York story. And I'm an American story. The fact that I was born here in New York, I totally believe made such a huge difference. I believe I got a pocket full of dreams, just like a song, and I can make it happen. If I can make it happen anywhere, I can make it here. But when we look at the scope of history, it definitely is a powerful statement, because quite literally, if I had been born in Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky, at literally the same time, my life really could have ended up very, very differently. And that's the power that we have as real estate agents, is because we are totally involved in being guides to one of the most powerful things anybody could ever own, which is a piece of real estate. It's how we build wealth. It's how where we live makes a difference in who we marry, where we go to school. It sets the trajectory on our lives. And I come from a rich history. My mom, my grandparents on my mom's side, they both served in World War II. My father, he served in Vietnam. And if you understand history, my grandparents weren't able to take advantage of the GI Bill. And it changed where they were, but they stayed north, and it made a difference. So the fact that I'm here right now is a testament of what it means to be in this country. And that's why my platform is the American promise and not the American dream. Because, and you're going to hear me say this many times through the year, being a part, saying the American dream, I understand where it came from, but it's time for us to move on from that, because you have to be awake if you're dreaming, or you have to be asleep if you're dreaming. And it also gives us an out that maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but a promise is your word. And if we believe that everyone has a gift and has a right and inalienable rights, and that if they work hard, they can achieve the success that they want, we all have to support that. And I can see that in my own life. I come from a deep, rich heritage. I come from a deep spiritual background. I still am guided by Bible principles today. And so whether you stand and give pledge of allegiance, whether you take a knee, or whether you actually stand and say nothing but show respect to the flag, it's a part of what allows us to be Americans, is a part of a certain ideology, which is that all of us can come together and believe that with power and strength and love that we can move forward to a greater tomorrow. And that's what I want to be a part of this year. And I hope that all of you will join me. And also, I don't want to make my mom upset, because I'm still scared of that lady.
You should be.
I should be. And I'm not slacking on my dad either. But I look back at where I've come from, pictures there, the gentleman shaving the head, that was my great-grandfather who owned barbershops in Harlem. And if you understand the history of Harlem and what they came up in, it was powerful. It was a picture of my grandparents at the Cotton Club, deep embedded in what was the Harlem Renaissance that took place, in all of the intelligence and beauty and art. And that's what makes us different than everywhere else, is that we're not pigeonholed into these groups, that we can actually transcend them. And I'm asking all of you to help me to do that this year. You know, it wasn't until 1961 that Black people were able to become a part of the National Association of Realtors. Like, can you think about that? Like 1961, all of you know your ages. I mean, are you in that age group? It's only been since then. But we have a lot of good work to do. And I think that together, if we focus more on what we have in common instead of what are the differences, we will be able to implement and be a part of the greatest work. So I really feel privileged to be here. And I want to thank my predecessors. I'm the second African-American to take this role. Dorothy Botto is my predecessor, and I'm the second youngest. So J.P. Endress is my predecessor. So thank you to both of you for paving the way so that I can be here today. So thank you so much. Now, after we've done all the heavy lifting, it's time to party, y'all.